Number 3, if I can point out Gerald McSwiggan, Ollie Davidson, Inez Pierce, unfortunately couldn't join us. She's in Los Angeles answering phone calls for our help desk. But with 9/11, Katrina, Haiti, the Cedar Rapids floods, the Southwest fires, BCLC's disaster program has had so many different challenges. We couldn't just pick one endeavor to single it out. There's so much that needs to be done, and we really appreciate all of the companies who've supported us on this. And number 2, okay, and this one is another one where we really couldn't pick a single event, is our work for the business community here in Washington, D.C. And here's where I really just wanted to single out all of the chamber staff that are here with us tonight. Thanks to all of you. I want to tell one brief story about this. After Katrina, I tracked down the CEO of 8 Matrix on a Friday night at his son's football game. And I told him that we were getting inundated with offers of assistance for different things, and that we needed a kind of bridal registry to understand when, you know how like with the bridal registry somebody gets the spoons and then you know that they're gotten, and then someone else gets the bowl or whatever. We needed to know who had taken care of the water, who had taken care of the medical equipment, etc. And this guy from 8 Matrix said that he would try and get it done. Do you realize Brad Peck, on Labor Day weekend, okay, that Saturday spent all day at the U.S. Chamber, and I don't know how many other members of the U.S. Chamber's communications team were there, and they helped to jerry-rig a solution within 24 hours. That was the U.S. Chamber. That wasn't BCLC. That was U.S. Chamber staff. And it's that kind of thing. I mean, Eric Wolfschlager, JP Fielder, the folks in the lobbying shop with all of the advice that they've given us, all the AV guys that are working around here, all the catering team, Chester and his crew. BCLC wouldn't be what it is without the U.S. Chamber. I mean, it's impossible to imagine. And so for us, you know, we really want to acknowledge working with the Chamber team for everything that they've done. And on top of that, of course, we also want to acknowledge all of our key government partners and our nonprofit partners and the interactions we've had with them. But finally, we come to number 1. And number 1, I just want to tell you the story, 2 stories. But before I do, I want to single out Catherine Traver, right over there, Rebecca Freivogel, Scott Algier, Tommy Beavis, Alex Fulham, Lori Cloutier, Natalie Masri, and Beth Barak, because they have been really at the heart of BCLC's success. Just a tremendous team, just absolutely tremendous people, just absolutely stand up, and I've been extremely proud to work with all of them. And I also want to thank all of the companies and leaders who've inspired and motivated and pushed and pulled to make BCLC what it is today. Sarah, you've been an incredible board chair. Just thank you so much. Not to mention Akhtar, Bill Shore, Bernie Milano, and our tremendous board of directors. But I also want to thank folks like Mary Wong, Janet Howard, Patrick Dexter, Megan Campion, Joe Suarez. There's so many. I'm going to forget folks, and I hope you don't mind. But I also want to remember Jonathan Roseman at Home Depot, who unfortunately has passed away, but who still is very much in my thoughts, because he was there that crazy morning in 1999 when I went to go pick up Ted Turner out here. Ted Turner was staying at the Hay Adams, and it's a beautiful, brilliant morning. And I come walking, and he's just walking down the street, and I shake his, and I greet him, and I say, Mr. Turner, thank you so much for coming to speak with us. And he turns to me, he goes, what am I talking about again? was deadly. But I think it all went fairly well. Beyond that, I want to thank Michelle Nunn, Steve Culbertson, the infamous He-Rad, wherever he is, and my dear friend and partner in crime, Steve Rockland. But most of all, for all of you who think that the BCLC was a good idea, and even those of you who think it was kind of a good idea, we owe a great debt of gratitude to my wife, Roxana Jordan. It's all her fault. Because there were quite a few times there where I was like sitting there going, wow, this is really something. But she's the one that has got the iron to persevere, so I really appreciate that. And so I want to conclude with this one last story, which I think gets to the essence of why this is so meaningful and why this is such a tremendous occasion. Our very first event, 1999, was notable for Ted Turner, but also it was notable because the Reverend Leon Sullivan joined us. Now, the Reverend Leon Sullivan, for those of you who may not recall, was the founder of the Sullivan Principles, one of the architects of the architect of the original code of conduct for corporate citizenship. But even more than that, he was on the board of directors of General Motors, and GM asked us if we could find a role for him in that very first conference. GM, Conoco, and a number of other companies felt it was extremely important for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to be in this space. And they couldn't think of anyone better than the Reverend Sullivan to be a part of it. And so it was a great honor to have him come in. But what I remember is not his speech. I remember him coming in the front door and seeing the guard at the front door. And you know, by this point, I think he was like 82. And he goes, I know you. And the guard at the front just went almost completely pale. And the guard said, I can't believe it's you. And the Reverend Sullivan said, you worked for me in 1962 in Philadelphia, right? When we were working on some of those things, and you were going to try and work your way through to get into college. And the guard just about started sobbing on the spot right there. And it wasn't all of the people, the dignitaries and everything where the Reverend Sullivan made his impact. It was right there at that moment for me. It's like that he never forgot who he was with. And he never forgot that this is a 360-degree vision. And that you have to be able to see everybody. And that's what the Reverend Sullivan's message was to me, is that you've got to be able to see everybody. And that, I think, is what corporate citizenship and corporate stewardship are all about. So with that, thank you all so much.